Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Action Jackson, and today's video, I'm going to be talking about day 3 of training camp for the Dallas Cowboys. So before we hop into the video, I'd appreciate if you guys would like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content, man. So again, the Dallas Cowboys, day 3 of training camp. There isn't a whole lot to go over with. Everyone has been looking sharp, is what I'm hearing about, and what I've been seeing on clips as well. A lot of mentoring has been happening between guys like Mozzie Smith, and then with Charles Haley kicking down knowledge to Mozzie Smith. You're hearing a lot of great things about Jalen Tolbert and him just taking a big jump mentally, because physically it was never a problem. That's the reason why we drafted him in the 3rd round with the 88th pick. And it wasn't, skill wasn't an issue with him. It was just mentally and getting used to the speed and the playbook. That was pretty much it for Jalen Tolbert, but everyone else has been looking great. So again, shout out for all the, where I'm getting all my video clips from. I'm getting from John Machota, Patrick No C Walker, Kyle Yeoman. Mostly where I'm getting my clips from. So just go over Kyle Yeoman's tweet. I'll put it up on the screen. Dak was sharp today on the long ball. He said 30 doesn't look half bad. And Dak Prescott turned 30 years old today. So happy birthday to Dak if he does come across this video. Or if you know any, or if whoever comes across my video that knows that, happy birthday to him. But they said don't count out Will Greer. I already talked about that on Thursday, saying that Will Greer has been looking a lot better than he did last year. I know he looked pretty good last year as well, but knowing that, again, Will Greer was a 3rd round selected pick from the Carolina Panthers, and he was slated to back up Cam Newton to potentially take over the reins and potentially become something. But I know things have spiraled, things have changed. But Will Greer said he's closing the gap on Cooper Rush, and he's off to a solid start. And one thing I want to note right now is that pads come on Monday. So it's going to be really fun. And that's, for me, how I determine my players and how certain players, or how I have questions about players, and they normally get answered come time to training camp when they put the pads on. Again, these are world-renowned athletes, so they're going to make a lot of plays without any pads on. And then if they put some pads on, it weeds out who's really here and who's not. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they're trash or anything like that, but, different players play differently when pads, or, when different circumstances, really. So they said they love the first action that they've seen from Kevontae Turpin, quick and versatile. And Cooks, which I already showed clips in the beginning of the video before we started talking, how Brandon Cooks, he cooked Nashon Wright for a touchdown. And then also in the second part of Kyle Yeoman's practice notes, he has said the offensive line had their best day to date, still working without pads, but seeing improvement, and the crowd was awesome, they're saying. And then Malik Davis was utilized a bunch in running back 2 situations. So again, then I'm going to go over some quotes, because I understand that, that was pretty quick right there, just what happened in training camp. So shout out to Michael Gelkin. He's mostly the guy that has a lot of quotes and everything like that from Dallas Cowboys. But they said, so I'm just updating again on the injuries, because I know that training camp, there's always knick-knack injuries that happens. So they're saying that Cowboys rookie tight end Luke Schoonmaker said he's dealing with a partial tear to plants. It's a more challenging foot injury than a complete tear. Still, he is optimistic. It's been good. I'm just taking a good pace. Hopes to resume practice within a week or 2. From Jerry Jones talking about the Zach Martin situation, which still hasn't been resolved as of right now. But they're saying that, they're asking about what's going to happen with resolving Zach Martin's situation. He said nothing. He'll come to camp. Praise Martin as a player. It's about facts. We need the money to pay Parsons. We need the money to pay players that we got to pay in the future. And he said that's a fact, which it is true, but I think that shouldn't really be a problem, because right now you got $20 million worth of cap space, plus depending on what you do at certain positions, and reconstruction of contracts, which basically just kicks money down the road, which builds up money for you right now. So if you can reconstruct a lot of contracts, for example, if you give Dak Prescott a contract right now, reconstruct your money, or depending on how the contract is structured, you still can pay Micah Parsons the money that he wants, which is going to be a boatload of money, which is well deserved. Then you're going to still going to have to pay for Zach Martin. He's only 30-something, early 30 years old. So is the best offensive guard in football. This is easily right now get figured out. But I think Jerry Jones has he does have a point to where they're not going to pay him a crazy bank or anything like that, or they don't really have to, pay him a lot of money. I just think that whatever he's asking for, in my opinion, you should just give it to him. Obviously, don't fold and give him everything, but of course, I think whatever he's asking for is well deserved. Whatever him and his agent both agreed to a number or where he should be getting paid should not be a problem, especially since he is playing above his pay wage. So I think that should be easily resolved and reconciled right there. And then Jerry Jones was talking about with Trayvon Diggs that he will return from a bruise. Then he said, I say maybe as late as we can get back to Dallas for Diggs to come back, really. So when they come back to Dallas, I think after the second preseason, they head back to Fort Worth, Texas, and they go out and they practice. So you're really not going to see Trayvon Diggs out there in terms of practice for Oxnard, but he will be out there to practice and anything like that, and for sure he will be ready. But again, you want all your main players like Trayvon Diggs, Micah, Zach Martin, for example, Dak Prescott, all those premier guys, mainly your 23, 22 starters, you're going to rest them. Whoever's dealing with any sort of injuries, you want to rest them because you're going to need them from week 1 all the way to week 18, which is about 17 games and plus playoffs. So you need those guys. So, ending off the quote, they said they would be surprised if Diggs was out until mid-August. So again, right around, like I said, the second preseason game is when you're going to see Trayvon Diggs out there on a training camp field. He's going to be fine. He got his money, and we're definitely going to be relying on him come, playoff time and regular season. So looking forward to really for a training camp, and what I'm wanting to hear really is improvement from everybody. I want to some things I still want to get figured out before the end of training camp and before start, some things I want to find out before week 1 is who are your swing tackle going to be for the Dallas Cowboys? Is that going to be Austin Richards? Is that going to be Chuma Ndoga? Is that going to be Matt Waletzko? Like, who is going to be your swing tackle to where you can rely upon that and you can still keep Tyler Smith inside? And that's what the Dallas Cowboys are hoping to do, is to keep Tyler inside and have your interior be bolstered with Martin, Smith, and then Biotish, and then your tackles being Steele and Tyron Smith. But we all know that Tyron Smith can't stay on the field for that long. So I want to know who our swing tackle is going to be. And then running back 2, for me, is simple. I think it's going to be Deuce Vaughn, unless Malik Davis, Ronald Jones just have a hell of a camp and they go out there and then they ball out and they somehow surprisingly take the running back 2 spot. That's only where I see running back 2 getting taken from Vaughn. And then wide receiver 4 right now, it's looking like a premier lockup for Jalen Tolbert. They said if then catastrophic happens and he keeps mental sharpening himself, he'd be fine to win the wide receiver 4 spot. And then wide receiver Fahoko or possibly Kavontae Turpin, so who's more like a special teams guy more than a real wide receiver. So, honestly, I'm very happy right now at where the roster is constructed right now. I felt like there is ways that if we want to, we can get better interior-wise, the offensive line. Maybe if they want to improve running back 1 or running back 2. I think we're fine with Tony Pollard. I don't think we're going to go out there. We're going to trade for a running back. I've been hearing noise about Dalvin Cook again. If he ever signs, I'll talk about it in depth, but I'm not really going to talk about it right now. I love our cornerback room situation. I love our safety room. Eventually, especially when we get Donovan Wilson and Israel Mukuamu back. I love what I'm hearing from DeMarvin Overshown. It seems like he has been getting very high praise from not only his defensive coaches, but his head coach and Mike McCarthy. So if he keeps proving himself that he's a great player, or he has potential to be a great player, he's definitely going to start seeing snaps his rookie year. Damone Clark, I'm expecting a big year 2 jump. Leighton Van Esch, I'm expecting him to stay consistent, and I want him to be a little bit more healthier if he can sustain that. Mozzie Smith learning tools from Charles Haley. Really, if he can get just from Charles Haley, the only things I really want him to get from Charles Haley possibly is maybe the mindset he had going into certain games or certain matchups, depending the type of offensive lineman he went up to or went up against. Or mainly if I can get Charles Haley to teach Mozzie Smith some of his pass rushing techniques, I think that, especially that are legal in today's game, because I know Charles Haley, man, he's a hip toss people. And, you know, Charles Haley was one of them ones. So, and, you know, if he can teach him a little bit here and there about savvy vet moves that he learned back in his day, and can give it down to Mozzie, and Mozzie can potentially bring you something in the pass rush game, which Mozzie Smith, for me, he's going to be an all-purpose player. He's going to be in there all defensive downs. I think he has that athletic makeup to stay out there for a while, but on all 4 downs. But if Mozzie Smith really can just be that run stopper, but who knows if he can have the upside of a Vita Vea where he can utilize his hands and get it to the passer. I just think that this defensive room, alongside with Osa Odighizuwa, then you already having Sam Williams, DeMarcus Lawrence, and then Michael Parsons. Like, I just think that you'll have the best defensive line room in the league. Like, respect to the Niners, respect to the Eagles. But like I said, if Mozzie Smith, and if you can get contributions from your D tackles that weigh 300-plus pounds that can stop the run and then go get the passer, I mean, there's not too many defensive lines that are out there really doing it like that other than the Niners. So that's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.